Those days.
It is going to be.
Well, I almost got candy shooting my eye out, but we do have a fun and easy project. We'll keep it safe for you to learn about.
Don't shoot peeps at people.
Okay. We might keep it safe. All right, Dr. Graham and Melanie, right?
Emily.
Minion. My brain's already like, all right, what are we going to do next?
Minion Emily becomes
Freshman
Memily. There we go.
All right, welcome. What are we going to do here today other
So,
than
a
shoot
lot-
candy at each other?
A lot of what we've done in the past, we've always been using food color as kind of our dyes. So what we're going to do is, because it's we happen to have a couple of bags of candy lying around the lab left over, I thought what we try and do is a really colorful candy experiment. And we're using M&Ms and Skittles, and you can use any of the different brands you like. This one's kind of cool. So we're going to kind of use the dyes that are on the outside of these. So Christy's starting to get the artistic on, and you guys can do the same. We want you to kind of arrange them in a pattern around the side. And we're going to add a wee bit of water to them. So you want to have a variety of different colors. So feel free, Chris, to kind of start arranging things. We'll be grading your patterns at the end. So this will be on the test.
You can do.
Yep, so we're going for a very regular one over here. And this is really simple. All you need is a plate. You can do it on your best china if you want, because the good thing is it does wash off again at the end.
Just so they're like full.
Emily's trying to take all my ammo, Larson, so.
We're not shooting over people.
Chris
It's
Berg
far
tried
more
to,
funny to watch the peeps fly.
Chris Berg
So
tried
let's
to
kind
shoot
of get
one
a
in
couple
my
of green
mouth.
ones in there as well.
I'm getting there. I have a pattern in mind.
Right, okay, that's it. I'm not allowed to do that one then.
You're good.
All right.
I have a specific order.
And so while the dyes don't normally come off in your hands, the dyes are going to come off with a wee bit of water. So what we're going to do, we just have a squirty bottle of water. And what we're going to do is, there's a couple of different ways of doing this. And this is one, if you're doing this at home, it's a lot of fun to kind of mess around and try different patterns. We do have a squirt bottle of water, so like a dog, like a misbehaving puppy, don't tempt us, Chris.
There we go.
So what we're going to do now, there's a couple of different ways of doing it. So after you pop off the lid, pop off the lid.
Pull.
There we go. What we're going to do is Emily's going to try showing you what happens if you do this around the outside edge. And then I just want you to start slowly squirting it in the center of here until basically it reaches out. So you're going to need to add quite a good amount, because you want to basically keep adding it until you completely fill the bottom of the plate. And if you're doing it on china, it's probably a wee bit more level than the ones we have, because I think as I look at it, our plate is maybe not quite as level as it is. So what we can see is if we go around the sides, they bleed in. That's perfect, Christy. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of leave these to sit for a couple of minutes, because the water's going to basically dissolve out the color from the outside edge. So if you do it that way, you start to get a much faster pattern. And the one that we're going to do is going to go a wee bit slower. So while that's happening, we're going to do another kind of experiment.
It's starting though. I can see it.
You can see it starts to creep in now, because basically the water allows the dyes to dissolve off, and you can actually see it start to bleed in. And
Mine's so cool.
all right. So what we're going to do while we're waiting is another quick experiment. So what I want you to do is I want you to choose one color and put them in the tube, and I want you to choose a color that's very different. So what color are you doing, Chris?
I'm going to do red.
Okay,
I'm doing green.
Let's do green then, right? So we're now, and you're going to want to fill up the tube with them.
Well, with all the greens.
With all the greens.
Is there any more reds in there?
Yep, we probably have quite a lot of those.
Thank you.
Unless Emily ate them all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
That'll
so
be
what
fun
we're
to
going to
show.
do, we're going to have you then, once you've done that, we're going to grab the squirt bottle, and we're going to have you fill up the the tube to almost to the rim with the squirt bottle. Now I'm using salt water for mine, so I'm just going to fill it up like this, and hopefully get it to go all the way down. Shiggly. There we go. Quick trick like that. Oh, we got a big air bubble in mine.
A wee shiggle.
A wee shiggle, yes. That's going to be the one thing you learn. All right, so now what we're going to do, once we've filled them all the way up to the brim, is we're going to put the lid on it, just like Chris has, and you're going to give it a good shiggle. Not just a big
Shiggle.
So what we're going to do with them now is we're going to try and do a couple of different layers. So we've got a couple of our test tubes. You can use eyedroppers if you're doing this at home. We're going to take the lid off again, because we can see that the candy color has gone into the solution. So just kind of stomp that one down a wee bit and try and get some of the liquid on
And
the
you
top.
can add more water too, like you can fill it to the
So we're
brim.
going to start by doing over here. We're just going to draw up.
Oh, funny.
Yep, and put
There you
into
go,
the
shake a
bottom
little
here
more.
a couple of things of the green. And just kind of put a wee bit like this. And we're going to do just a small one here. So Chris, Emily, if you want to grab a squeegee pipette and put a wee bit of the red in there.
Can you guys see how good these are looking now? Now his looks better.
Yep, see, it just
Look
takes a
how
wee bit
cool
of time.
those are.
and we'll kind of be able to get the. Unfortunately, we can't hold them up for the camera, so but these are coming out really well. And if as long as we don't knock them, we can get pictures and post those online a lot later.
Yep.
So what we've got there is we're having a wee bit of clogging in the tubes. So now what we're going to do is quickly fake another one.
There we go. We got
Did
some.
we get some?
Yep.
So what we're going to do is we're going to throw a wee bit more salt water in yours, in there, just so we get a wee bit more water to work with. There we go. We're going to put a wee bit more regular water in your, what do you call it, one? And so what we're going to do, we're going to show you with this one, if you've got some of the red good to go, Chris. I'm going to just kind of cheat, pour some of that out, grab some of the red liquid. And so what we're doing here is, because I used salt water, and because, can you grab the red in my hand?
Yep.
Because I use salt water, but the salt water is heavier than with the green, is heavier than the red. So we messed around with this a couple of shows ago when we were on, and you can see if you add them nice and slowly, because it's denser, they don't actually mix.
Cool.
And you can actually, with doing different things like that,
it's like a watermelon.
Yeah, you can make all different combinations and stuff. So as long as you're putting something like salt or sugar in the solution, those tend to be heavier, and those will sit on the bottom. So for a quick experiment, if we have time, what we're going to do is we're going to swap it around. And I'm going to find out what happens if you put the red in first, and then you put the green in on the top. So we've got that. Do we have some green good to go?
I can get it.
Okay, now who's got the steadiest hands here?
Chris.
Chris, right. Okay. So Chris gets to hold the tube, and Christy's going to dribble it down the side like that. And basically, because we put the red in first, it should be that the red stays on the bottom, but what happens is, because the green is actually heavier, once again the green sinks to the bottom, because it's all about density, not the order. So you can see the green is always heavier and always sits on the bottom.
Cool.
And this is just a really simple experiment. It's a wee bit of salt. You can use sugar as well, some candy dyes and stuff like that.
Cool.
Yep, so we'll just dump these down, and if there's a way we can get shot for is there a possible way the camera can get a shot of these?
They
we
saw
can't unfortunately
them
hold
a little
up.
bit.
Yep, so let's leave them to sit.
I shouldn't have put brown in ours.
That's all right.
That's all right.
And this is great, because if you're doing this at home, this just washes away. Just throw the plate in the dishwasher, throw it in the sink, give it a wash, and you can try this again and again. And you can make some really colourful patterns. And if you sometimes have a coffee filter or something underneath, you can also get the pattern to actually form on the coffee filter and lift the coffee filter out. And I guess this is what you've been waiting for.
Yeah.
Now, is our Peeps catapult.
Can you throw me
So
a
of
peep
course,
first?
of course,
See if I
it
can
being
get this?
Easter,
Thank you.
we had to do something with Peeps. And a couple of years ago, we did an experiment where we were pumping Peeps up and down and basically seeing what happens under vacuum. And it was awfully heavy to bring a microwave in, because I'm sure everyone has done peak jousting and done the experiments with peaks in the microwave. You put two peaks with toothpicks and you heat them up and see which one wins. So what we're going to do is, last night in the lab, because we decided to basically steal all of the pencils and rubber bands that I could get my hands on. So we basically made what's equivalent to a piece of medieval siege equipment known as a mangonel. Mainly just so we can launch Peeps. And there's a more traditional catapult, and I don't like the fact that they're aiming at us. So all I'm doing is just supporting the base, and so basically what we're going to do is,
Coming to you, camera 3.
Can Peeps
Pow!
Okay, Christy, see if we can catch this. Ready? Give me one more try. Ready?
Oh, a little more oomph.
And this is something...
A little bit more oomph.
All right, one more.
Let's tell people where they can find more of your fun that you guys have at the Science Academy.
All right, so Concordia Science Academy is, of course, on Facebook. We just did a show. I'm sure that went in.
Here, let's try one of these.
We are on Facebook. We're at Concordia Science
That's gonna
Academy.
hit me in
Don't do this with M&Ms. Right, we will basically aim at Chris Berg. Just saying.
We're going to wrap things up, but we'll have more to come here.
And we're kind of starting to fill things up. If you're watching us from Jamestown, then I'll be in Jamestown next week at the STEAM event, which is being organised. And we're starting to also get things... Almost. And we're also starting to get some of our summer schedule together as well. So ConcordiaScienceAcademy.com. And thanks again to inviting us on.
Thank you, guys. We'll have more to come here on North Dakota Today.